The purpose of this video is to demonstrate a block that is controlled by pass signals to, if someone's having some questions about it and trying to understand what can and can't be done. This whole, I'm going to fly over this block, but this whole block is controlled by pass signals. The rule is, you have pass signals in and block signals out, and I'll talk about that a little more detail. So I have highlighted one of the, or built one of the signals here, and it highlights the blocks, which is pretty handy. Okay, so the trains will coming up the slope here into this area. Now, the two train stations are both controlled by having block signals into the train station. It can't be part of the path block. They have to be excluded. So you have block stations into the train stations and pass signals back out. This train station to my left here, the trains will come through the train station. They'll drive in one end and drive out the other. This one, they'll come in one direction and reverse direction. And you got to be careful when you're doing that kind of thing. If you have a train that goes between two stations, if one is going to reverse, the other has to reverse, or your goods will start going to the wrong platform. And if the train goes through a train station, the other train station, it kind of needs to do the same thing, or again, you'll have problems. So because of that, this train station, as the trains come through here, will actually have to reverse direction, and I'll show that in a minute here. So here's the main junction here. So all the trains coming in here are being controlled by a pass signal. So when they come up to a pass signal, before entering this, we'll call it turquoise section, they will reserve a path through this block. In some fashion, they will reserve some track. And while they have reserved that, no other train can use that track or any track that conflicts with that track. So trains will not crash. I've not seen that. They magically reserve a path through here that is non-conflicting. Two trains could be in this path block at the same time as long as they do not conflict. In other words, the path they reserve does not conflict. Now this train that comes out of this station to the left, it's kind of tricky because I need to turn it around, but this track that I'm hovering over here, I'll just stand on top of it. This track is bidirectional. I just figured, why run two tracks through here? So the train that exits out of this has to come back that direction to the west. And so there wasn't enough room to just simply do a curve bend back in there. So I sent it off over here. It loops around and it comes out this bidirectional train going back out to the west. I would have sent it back to the train station. The problem is if I allow the trains to do that, they'll come into this Kyrie station here and they'll exit out of the Kyrie station in the opposite direction. And that screws everything up. So I have to force it to come through here in the direction I want. So after the train goes through this loop, it heads back that way down this bidirectional path. And as mentioned earlier, this train station, the train just comes in and reverses. Everything's fine. It's I'll just show you. It's a block signal in and a pass signal out. If you don't do those block and pass signals right, the game will complain. And so, this is a moderately complex junction, but the trains all are able to share it, not a problem. You could have just used block signals everywhere, but in some cases, the trains can share this junction. They can both be in the junction at the same time. So why not do that? Okay, well, hopefully that gives an idea what can be done here with these pass signals. They're pretty cool, I think. Thanks for watching.